let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. You know we are on the march from my neighborhood. We're gonna go from my new neighborhood, nothing that I wanna go back to. We're gonna freestyle rock and roll all the way north. So this is south, basically we're gonna go north is that way, that's east, and the back of me is west. So that is south, north, east, west. So if we're gonna go to get on that drill, we're gonna go on that drill for a little bit. Gonna salute firefighters, LOV to the firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, all involved in the production and the distribution of food. And we're gonna go for that all the way to the east, west, north, south, east, west, north, south. And that's south, and that's north, and that's east, 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 that's west. And we're gonna go for a rock and roll overtime every time. 49ers, great game with 44 yard on every given Sunday. Yesterday, McCaffrey's back. Please give 10% to charity. NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, MLB, National Basketball Association, NBA. Please reduce the cost by 44.9%. 44.9%, that is the estimated reduction cost as I go on this march. We're gonna do some squats, gonna do some push-ups. It's a Dragon versus Trump still challenging on versus Trump event workout before the inauguration. Let's do it ASAP. Come in Montreal on the night of that Mike Tyson, Mikey, LOV, and I love seeing people exercising, working out, training, exercising on that fitness, and I always get that joy when I'm on the workout, training, exercising, and see people working out, training, exercising, always on a good mood, and it always brings me some joy, fitness, and you know, I march, I work out, train, exercise. As a matter of fact, let's do a little bit of fitness over here. Let's do some squats. How about those squats? We love you, those squats. Let's go do it down. I'm gonna do some squats. With a guitar, ain't got no money for the guitar, but we're gonna whiz those hips, rock and roll, give me some of those squats. Dragon versus Trump, let's go get in more squats. SQ8DS, do some push-ups on the way. We're gonna drive it on the way, work out, train, exercise, and we're gonna get it on the go. So it's overtime every time, and we're gonna get it on the go. For the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, gotta watch out for my brother when he crosses the street, and like a hawk. We're gonna go all the way north. We're gonna go to my old neighborhood. So this is my new neighborhood here in Integree. To my old neighborhood, Côte de Neige. It's a few miles, kilometers away, about 11, 13, that way. So that's south, that's west, that's east, that's north. South, east, that's west. I'm coming from the west, Montreal, Hawk Island from the west side, and that's south. So that's south of the island. We're surrounded by a big river, and I'm grateful, thankful that my red spade, electricity bill spade, and got food and coffee, always grateful, thankful. Gotta watch it for the prudence, and see how many seconds I got 7 across. I always gotta turn the head left or right, because you never know. What if the brakes malfunction? And I gotta give a shout out to the public workers who are changing the aqueducts. LOV to the public workers of the 20th century. Gotta salute. Imagine all that labor, brains and muscle to build underneath the layers and sewers, and of course to have the systems which we have. For us to have clean water, imagine that civilization is a privilege. Imagine just having the electricity. I gotta get a shout out to Hydro-Quebec, LOV, rock and roll for them 24/7. And our electricity from Quebec, Montreal goes all the way to about 6 states, and all the way to Manhattan Island. About 20%, 1/5 out of Manhattan Island has the electricity from Quebec. So that is something which I gotta meditate as I go now. So now I'm just gonna switch it a little bit. So I'm gonna switch it off here. Actually, I'm gonna go to the parking lot. And here we're gonna go to the parking lot and gonna salute the grocery store clerks. Hey, give them a little bit of raise. Please give them a raise, a little bit of something on that raise. And gonna go check out that bag there. Somebody left a little bit of that bag, and I'm just gonna check if it's garbage, what is it. And sometimes they put it on that donation, but they're gonna leave it for somebody else just to inspect out of security. Of course, there's always concern about, you know, also security concerns and whatever have you. So I'm gonna be leaving it for somebody else, but please drop it at the deposit box or at the donation box. Don't leave it there. Maybe somebody forgot it. So I'm always looking, of course, there's a security concern. Sometimes we got citizen independent security, and we live in tough geopolitical times, not to be an alarmist, but of course I have predicted I'm bringing back to my work as an independent ASPE, geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, because that's what 24/7 with yours truly, geopolitics, rock and roll, fitness, dancing is my favorite sport, and that's how an ASPE mind works. You know, we put everything in our obsessive interest. When we go now on the march, I'm always meditating, for example, now about the truckers the trucks, the firefighters, you know, in case of an emergency scenarios. 5 years ago, back in 2019, I predicted an international conflagration. That's what I predicted in 2019 in October, an international conflagration, aka World War III. So in many ways, we're seeing that. We're seeing what's happening now across the North American collective, across the world. In a parallel, not in an overall detailed manner, but in an overall general manner, we're seeing an international conflagration. And here I am, I gotta reinstate my gratitude, grateful, thankful. My rent's paid, the electricity bill's paid, got food, got coffee, and got some halva and a chocolate after my workout, about 3 hours march. I'm gonna treat myself, try to be back by 9:30. 9:30 deadline, so it's about 5:30 now, so about 4 hours maximum, 5 hours max. 5 hours max today, Monday, on a Monday, because I did a lot of laundry, so it's a lot of work. Did 3 loads of laundry, it's like 5 hours, you know, just takes about an hour, 45 minutes, an hour to do, and then do the laundry, then do the drying, then do the setting. So it's about 6 hours of work just to do 3 loads of laundry. And Monday is the laundry. Grateful, thankful for the machine. I used to do laundry in my old neighborhood, used to pay. So to my anonymous friend, you know, if I make a man a bin, that you're gonna give half that, 50%, support the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, which is my dream fundamentally, for the collective North American civilizational complex, for North American Union, the Democratic Republic of North America. As I go on the march here, I gotta give a salutations. Wow, that's hard. Somebody got some talent. Big kisses, big hugs, big rainbow. I love to see more embellishments of the city like this. I like to be that colorful, like black, white, and brown a little bit, but I like to see me that rainbow, although red is my favorite color. And what a game, 49ers. 44 yards on any given Sunday. That's how it is with gridiron. I love gridiron. I really love football, although dancing is my favorite sport. You know, I love dancing. Dancing is my favorite sport. You know that dancing is my favorite sport. Dancing. I can dance, of course, hours and hours. Rainbow Dragon, equal priestess, H, Hana, yours truly. Androgynous, pansexual, aspie, artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical, theoretical analyst, and theorist. And that's how it is with me, geopolitics 24/7, and I encourage all the workout training, exercise, and just take a meditation now. Here on the light is this light here in the Publik. It's thanks to the workers of the 20th century. Imagine all that brain, all that muscle to build all the 63 hydroelectric dams, all the hydroelectric dams across North America. I'm not going to go through here. I'm going to go around the bow, although it's open, but it says that there is a little bit of a work in progress going on, so I'm just gonna go around the body because I don't want to intrude. Although it's open, there's no sign that you cannot trespass, or that it's private, but I'm just gonna choose out of my own volition as a citizen just to go a little bit like a snake in my own neighborhood, from my new neighborhood. Nothing that I want to go back to. We're not going to go deep in my own neighborhood. It's just because I want to head towards the stars north a bit. I want to do like a snake and come back like a snake instead of the usual circle. Although, like I say, I already done a little bit of circle down memory, and here we are, grateful, thankful. Rock and roll. I want to sing a little bit of rock and roll, but once again, I want to do a little bit of that, gratitude, grateful, thankful, rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, and got some chocolate bar. It increased. This year it increased the price by 17 cents, which is 17%, because it was, of course, $1, but it's still affordable until it gets to $2. It's 100 grams, and it's a good chocolate, so it's still affordable, I gotta say, although it's quite a considerable increase if you do the percentage-wise, you know, from $1 to $1.17, that's 17 cents, and I'm calling on the NFL National Football League, NHL National Hockey League, NBA National Basketball Association, MLB, to please call it a heart to reduce the cost of the tickets by 44.9%, please. NFL National Football League, NFL National Football League, NHL National Hockey League, NBA National Basketball Association, MLB, major sports leagues, please reduce the costs of the tickets by 44.9%. 44.9%. That is the estimated cost of the value of the increase of the price parity. To my economical knowledge, of the best of my abilities to calculate, is about a 44.9% increase in a parallel manner from March 2020, when I had COVID, and how the majority of prices have increased, and in parallel to the stagnation of the majority of the wages, because the majority of the wages, although some have increased, most have not increased that much per equal to be equivalent to the prices I have increased in parallel to the consumer prices and the prices of goods. Just like I mentioned, the chocolate bar was $1. last year and during COVID for more than 5 years, and now this year it increased by 17%. And my wafers, which I buy $1 for like 3.5 years, 44 months, I used to buy them the same ones, and just this year, 5 months ago, they increased by 25%. But if you calculate from $1 to 125, it's 25%. So that is the total increase by 25%. That is a considerable increase. Now, of course, the question begs: is it the producer who increased the price, or actually the transportation price cost? The transportation cost, maybe the transportation cost. So XYZ factors on an ASP, I ask a lot of questions, and some things I don't know. So many things I don't know. So many things I don't know. I ask a lot about questions, but it's here that I live for today. Carpe diem it today, every day. I carpe diem it every day. Carpe diem it every day. Since I died of COVID back in 2020. February 2020, since I died of COVID, that was that COVID, and it was like death, pestilence, and disease, death, pestilence, and disease, death, pestilence, and disease. It was like death, pestilence, and disease, death, pestilence, and disease. On my enemies, it sounds like a rock and roll song. I know it sounds like a rock and roll hard death metal, like death metal type of trippy song, but that's basically how I felt. That's basically how I felt. That's how I felt basically. So it was like death, pestilence, and disease, and we gotta get going on the XYZ, and that's what it is with that, So that's what it is with that. So we gotta do it with that. So that's what it is. So that's what we gotta get doing, And sometimes it takes the doing, the mind, and the body to work together in a congruent manner. The mind, body, and spirit. And here I go crossing on the coast. Turn my head left or right. Turn my head left or right before I cross the street. Something which I gotta add is a prudence, Because what if the brakes malfunction? What if the citizen driver presses the accelerator instead of the brake? These are all things which can occur in the daily, and it's not day now, but you cannot get that solar flare, but the brakes can potentially malfunction. Citizen driver might press the accelerator instead of a brake, and it can happen, errors can happen, accidents can happen. So that's why left, right, turn your heads, I do recommend, because I'm myself in the public. Got a beautiful dog there in the face. I'm myself in the public, so I got added responsibilities, duties, and obligations. I did a lot work from home, and it's geopolitics, rock and roll, laundry cleaning, rock and roll, geopolitics, because if you're an ASPE like myself and part of a tiny minority of population who has that HFA, high functioning autism, also known as Asperger's, I use both interchangeably. I do not shy away from utilizing both, because what it matters is that it's the same symptoms. Both are the same, but it's the same symptoms, and there's no medication for Asperger's. It's not a mental illness. It is a neurological mental divergent condition which makes me predisposed to obsessive interest. And my holy trinity of obsessive interests, which are always happening at a certain point in time in my mind and in my psychic abilities, and my mind, of course, is geopolitics, the study, the analysis of geopolitics, theoretical analysis, and geopolitics theoretics. And I'm a independent geopolitical theoretical analyst, or analyst and theorist, if you will, together. Theoretical analyst or analyst and theorist is the same thing. And of course, sports. I'm obsessed about fitness, and sports. And dancing is my favorite sports. Once again, bust a little bit of dance move for the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses. Hey, truckers on the road, LOV, those who changed some of those daycare diapers today. Gotta get some of those loving to those who change some of those diapers. Changed a lot of diapers today somewhere across North America. Gotta sing some rock and roll for those who change those smellies, and that's what it is with that hard labor. It's work, and it's that rock and roll, geopolitics, and sports. That's my holy trinity of obsessive interest, and that's always happening at certain minute and point in time, even when I go on the road, even when I'm involved in certain other activities, whatever the case may be for certain activities. And I don't mean to stare at people, but another symptom is staring at people. Another symptom is echolalia. Echolalia is the repetition of the exact same sentence or phrases, or paraphrasing the exact same words that somebody said or uttered. And we don't have the same awareness in the social settings and social manner. We can be very weird, and myself I am, And that has been a roadblock to maintenance of employment, maintaining employment, and it's tough being an ASPE until you get established, especially in your niche, that you're strong, because we have strengths. In those obsessive interests, we can talk about it, we can analyze it, we can dissect it. We know pretty much there is to know about those obsessive interests, and my geopolitics, and it's geopolitical, theoretical, and geopolitics 24/7, the revision, the analysis of geopolitical events, and it always fluctuates. Of course, this week, today, gotta salute. Special Remembrance Day, of course, gotta salute our veterans LOV to our vets, LOV to our vets, dedicated for them special away today, you know. Gotta include them special. Remembrance Day 11/11 today, November, that's Scorpio. And of course, it's a major geopolitical event of the 20th century. The armistice, and of course, this week is going to be the election which happened last week in the United States of Donald Trump's election. So that's a major factor, and he's not inaugurated yet in charge. It's still my Scorpio brother. Of course, over the stars, Joe Biden, but that's what it is with Joe Biden. He's still there, and of course, we got that analysis, and of course, it's 24/7 geopolitical theoretical analysis, and geopolitical events occur on a daily basis, on a minute-by-minute basis, on an hour-by-hour basis. It's every day. It's a constant fluctuation of geopolitical events and geopolitical happenings, right? So it's always fluctuating and changing. Geopolitics is always in fluctuation, so that's what it is with geopolitics. And I predicted what's happening now back in 2019 as an international conflagration. I predicted what's happening now across the North American civilizational complex, and as a North American philosopher, I predicted what's happening now in an overall manner. What's happening now in 2019 in October. I predicted, of course, the international conflagration. In October 2019, I predicted an international conflagration based on several levels of analysis, which, of course, the detail or the general summary is that my prediction was due to the fact that there has been many regions, nation states, and civilizational complexes which have not resolved their conflicts dating from the 20th century. So there were still lots of unresolved conflicts from the 20th century. That was my prognosis and analysis, that is going to be a spillover in the 20th century. So in many ways, that's what occurred, right? Because the conflict in Ukraine and Russia and Europe dates to the 20th century conflicts, which are not totally fixed or resolved. Of course, in Israel, the Middle East, of course, there's another conflict dating from the 20th century, and then potentially Taiwan, which is known officially as the ROC, Republic of China. That's still a conflict dating from the 20th century. So that's the major overall summary, if I can summarize it. In 2019 in October, I had sounded the alarm that, of course, it's going to happen again, and there's going to be a multi-directional, multi-front war involving NATO member countries, directly or indirectly. And of course, my scenario, of course, involves several layers of potential scenarios, of which international conflagration and internal fermentation and internal fermentation, and of course, internal fomentation of civil unrest and strife from foreign actors, whatever, Secret Service, police, or multi-corporations. So there was a multi-layer scenario in depth, you know, that's what it was. So back what's happening now, it's of course what's happening now on the international conflagration, and here I am marching, and I've recorded hundreds of videos of marching. The boots I wore like for 44 months. I had boots and I wore them for like 44 months. More than 3.5 years that I got in like during COVID, and they're worn out, and they were steel toe. What was noted to mention about them, that they were made in US and Canada. They were made in the US and Canada. They were made in the USA and Canada. They were made in the USA and Canada. They were made in the USA and Canada. Joint North American. My propositions and initiatives are, of course, for the North American Collective, for the North American Collective Civilization, for the complex of North American Civilizational Complex, for the Collective North American Civilizational Complex, for the complex of North America, the North American Complex, the North American Collective. That's what it is with that. That's what it is with that. So that's what we have it. Here, the multi-dimensional complex, we got to get it on the go, we got to get it on the now. So that's what it is with that, you know. So it's always something which we got to be mindful of, and be mindful of that situational awareness in parallel to all my work as an independent philosopher, artist, geopolitical theoretical analyst, and theorist. You're welcome. I'm gonna let my fellow citizen pass by, because I got the backpack on, and I got the gloves, by which I'm challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match, because I started challenging Donald Trump a few years ago, when I imposed tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel, and I gotta say to my American brothers and sisters that this Quebecer Canadian was born 3 times in the USA. I believe in reincarnation. You just gotta read that. 3 glass darkly, George Patton, 3 glass darkly, George Patton, 3 glass darkly, 3 glass darkly, George Patton, 3 glass darkly. And that's what you got to be reading on the 3 glass darkly, which was George Patton, of course, reiterated the belief in reincarnations, and that's what it is with that. So that's what we're going to get doing with that on the go. So I was born in the United States. 3 times, once as a woman, twice as a man, both times as a man, 156 years apart. Served in the same United States Army in 2 different wars, 156 years apart in previous incarnations. Some incarnations was born right here on the island. Sometimes a man and woman between or after and before 1535, when of course the Jacques came planted flag, of course, the fleur-de-lis flag and whatever else on the mountain, Mount Royal, my second home down there, out in the east, 2.5 million metropolis city today, in Montreal, and once again, and I encourage all to work out, train, exercise, and get that rock and roll as I go now on the march across an evening march. It's not that late, but you see, it's not even 6. I don't believe it's yet 6, but it's gonna get it for that. See, it's dark as we changed the hour. We put the hour back. They are back last week, not this weekend, the other weekend, and this November 11. Now it got dark fast. See, it got dark really fast. So now we had that feeling when we go towards the autumn, which can be really tough to transition autumn to winter for many, not all, but sometimes it's just gotta get pushing. Just get pushing. So again, Remembrance Day special for the vets, for the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, and let's finance something good for the vets, and please reduce the cost of the tickets by 44.5%, 44.9%. Tickets are the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, and what I would have loved, of course, is to be a billionaire today. Right after the election of Donald Trump, I would have taken 10% until the December 24th or so holidays, and during all these weeks I would have gotten, so 44 billion. If I would have had that 10%, would have been 4.4 billion. So 4.4 billion would have been the equivalent of 4,400 million, because a billion has 9 zeros, not 8. A billion is 1,000 million, right? A billion is not 100 million. 1 billion is 1,000 million. I think a lot of people that are having discussions, financial, economic, are not totally aware of a billion, that it has 9 zeros, not 8, not 7, not 8. It's 9. It's thousands of. 1 billion is 1,000 million. So I would have distributed 4,400 million across the North American civilizational complex. I would have given, of course, 50,000, 44,000. I would have given 44,718, 44,718. I would have given 44,718. That's 50,000. I would have distributed 50,000 to people in need. I would have been across North America. I would have given a check or cash. I would say, this is your second chance. This is your second chance. This is your second chance. This is my redemption. Most people deserve second chance. I believe I had mine, although I have a lot of scars and trauma, and I suffered struggle not just because of Asperger's and HFA, high functioning autism, but I remember a few years ago I was attacked in the Montreal Metro. Surprise vicious attack. I fell down, hit my head. It was like a cowardly attack, a surprise attack. So that's what it is with that. A surprise attack. And that's what it is for that, and that's what it is with that, and we gotta get it on the go with that. So that's why I'm certain settings. I'm hyper vigilant. I am hyper vigilant. And I hit my head. I went to the hospital. I had the right arm was dislocated. Right arm, and got placed back at the hospital. And after that, I was out for a few days, and the concussion, and that's the concussion, and that's I survived the concussion, the concussion that I survived, the concussion that I survived, so that's where I survived the concussion. Mortal head wound, I guess. Well, it could have been near fatal, I guess, mortal near fatal, because I still have a little lump. Still have a little lump there, but however the case may be, it just feels like a lump, I can post on. I don't have OnlyFans, but I don't mind showing. You gotta be put 18 plus though, because I do my videos not 18 plus. I do use a little bit of adult topics sometimes, and I discuss my sexuality and all that, but freely. It's love my past sexual BDSM switch, and with autism being an aspect has been difficult. But nonetheless, back to what I was saying a few years ago, it's just a surprise attack, and I've been hyper vigilant. I have it's known as retrograde amnesia. I have a blackouts. I cannot remember. I have trouble remembering my life prior to that moment. I really have problems accessing the memories prior to that incident, prior to that event, prior to that incident, prior to that event, prior to that incident. So I just have a lot of scars, and I just want to love, love and have enough money and see my dream, the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, and be loved, black, white, and rainbow. You want to LOV with rainbow dragon. I can make that double overtime, rainbow overtime, just like my workouts are overtime every time. So my loving is overtime every time, just like my workouts marching are overtime every time. So my loving is overtime every time, just like my workouts are overtime every time, marching overtime every time, marching. My workouts, such as my workouts are overtime every time, such as my workouts are overtime every time. So my loving and rock and roll is overtime every time. So I can do that LOV overtime every time. Kissing, I got trillions of kisses. I'm laying the foundations for the first kingdom empire with trillions of kisses. Created from the forgotten goddess. Speaking of the goddess, dedie, and that's what I will to build. If I will to build something, it will be the forgotten goddess temple, So all the money from my initiatives as an artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical, theoretical analyst, and theorist will go, of course, towards the foundation of that. Was the foundation of the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, of course, of the forgotten goddess temple. Forgotten goddess temple. GODDSS, I said, the Forgotten Goddess Temple. And parallel, let's build it on the border, parallel to the building of the Forgotten Goddess. The North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American Imperial People's Coliseum, the North American Imperial People's Coliseum, the North American Imperial People's Coliseum. That'll be something else which I will to build on the Canadian-US border. And the House of the Dragon on Mount Royal, and Rainbow People's Palace, for my fellow LGBTQ community. So, Forgotten Goddess First Temple, the temple. Forgotten GODDSS, I do say when they got it, I also goddess with that. And I GODDSS. I don't know so many mysteries, I don't know, but that's what I know. I'm a wannabe Telemite, mystic. And parallel to being a philosopher, I'm also a mystic and also a geopolitical, theoretical analyst and theorist, an artist and athlete who was rock and roll for the farmers, thinking about the truckers. Now let's send some LOV, because too many minutes have passed that I'm not thinking about the farmers, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses. Some LOV to those flipping some burgers, where thou at across the fast food, making some cheeseburgers, hamburgers, delivering some food, delivery workers, warehouse workers, the truckers, east, west, north, south, delivering some of that good food. The warehouse workers today, railway conductors, public bus drivers, LOV to the firefighters, LOV to the bakers, LOV to the nurses, the doctors, LOV to the carpenters, LOV to the butchers. I'm a fan of the construction workers, LOV to hydroelectric workers. Of course, security, we got to get those first responders, the security, we got to get some of that good LOV. It's something which we got to get some of that good LOV for them. It's not all about security, and freedom, liberty got to be insured. Freedom, liberty got to be insured. It's something new, It's freedom, and freedom is new under the king, under the sun, Mr. Solomon. Freedom is new under the sun, Mr. Solomon. Freedom is new under the sun, Mr. Solomon. And if I ever get married, I'm gonna propose again by the full moon next Sunday. Deadline 17th of November to propose again, and an open BDSM switch marriage is gonna be the reverse of Pharaoh's daughter and King Solomon, meaning that it's gonna be an open BDSM cuckold marriage. Hey, for the cuckolds, somebody gotta sing for the cucks. Somebody gotta sing. LOV for real. Playing that rainbow. I am, Play that black and white and rainbow. And consent. Can love over time, kiss over time, massage, wash feet over time, blah, blah, blah. But I don't turn the other cheek, may I be avenged that sevenfold. As the rock and roll song 24/7 under this aspie with scars, raw retrograde amnesia, who survived COVID, survived being depressed and suicidal and across Canada 7 years ago. that made me, that event, I established a strong esprit de corps, coast to coast with my fellow Canadians, a strong esprit de corps, with my fellow Canadians, a strong esprit de corps, and y'all became my family. 2017, Quebecers, Canadians, sometimes we're dysfunctional, especially these days, but, and all who come to join us, all who come to join us, all who come to join us here in the True North, Strong and Free, and that's what we gotta get doing on that, that's what we gotta get doing on that for the do, and that's what we gotta get doing on the doing, you know, so we gotta get doing on the XYZ, and that's what we gotta get doing on the doing, and keep on loving, somebody loving today, man. I'm pretty sure somebody made good loving today, so that gives me hope, especially the youth. The youth are innocent, you know, we have our karma, but the youth gives me hope when I see them working out, training, exercising, joyous, joy, that's what gives me hope, you know, because, you know, a lot of us did a lot of mistakes, myself, you know, and now I'm happy, joyous. I went for a walk away, go for a long march, and a little bit of that rock and roll meditative philosophy, rainbow dragon style for the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, cooks, carpenters, electricians, plumbers, those who build the highways, the public workers. Hey, public workers are going to pick, it's Monday, so they're going to pick up the garbage. They're athletes. Thank you for loading up that garbage trucks. They're athletes. Please give them some free tickets. NHL, National Hockey League, NFL, National Football Association, MLB, to the public workers, give some free tickets. And in the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, of course, when we have events, it's going to be for the public workers. They can have something free to go with it, something free to go with it. So I'm gonna wait for my fellow citizen to cross here, and if it's gonna start raining, of course I'm gonna have to go on the defense somewhere, maybe do some push-ups where we can do some push-ups. If it starts raining, of course I don't want to ruin my phone, and we're gonna have to, of course, be on the side of the, if it starts raining, I don't know if it's gonna start raining or not, but I kind of felt a little bit of rain, so maybe there's gonna be a little bit of that rain. We're gonna go here. So here's basically where my old neighborhood kind of begins. My old neighborhood kind of begins here at the, kind of on this street. My old neighborhood there to the south. My old neighborhood to the north here, Côte des Neiges. But nothing that I want to go back to. You know, it's Montreal, it's the island of Montreal. So I gotta keep me some of that love for the island of Montreal, and that's what we gotta get doing for the love. And gonna wait until I cross the car. Gonna give a salutation, shout out to the cooks doing some of that cooking, the pizzas, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, that potatoes, that lettuce, potatoes and lettuce, and the workers of the 20th century who built all the underground layers here, all the underground. Imagine how much work and labor was done. Or this one I can go transversely. So this one I can actually cross like this, not like that. 7 seconds, see how it's made. I got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this one you can go both ways. That's the interesting part of it. So anyways, gotta give a salutation, man. Imagine all that work which was done to build all the underground cables, and us to have, of course, the aqueducts. So it's starting to rain a little bit, and I'm gonna have to put a little bit of that cover for my backpack. Where can I go, of course, to get around the cover for the backpack? Maybe I can go a little bit of that shelter there and just cover my backpack for a bit, because I don't want it ruined, and I don't have my raincoat, so I'm going to be on that XYZ and XYZ for that XYZ, and that's what we're going to be doing for the do, you know. So I'm going to have to be somewhere over there, maybe in the corner, you know. Yeah, it's a light rain. It's not that rainy, but that's what it is with that. And here we are, man. Gonna go on the north, and yeah. Kinda interject, cause gonna have to put my backpack on. Okay, I know where we're gonna put it. I'm looking at my fellow citizens with my eyes like a hawk, cause sometimes I gotta check for the crossing, you know, so I gotta make sure my other citizens are safe also, you know. Cause you cross the street, you gotta be prudent. You never know, brakes malfunction. Citizen driver presses the accelerator instead of the brake. So that's what we gotta get doing with that. I gotta make sure, you know, when you cross here the street, see that car, what if it presses the accelerator? Crosses like that, the brakes malfunction. It's all a possibility, you know. It's all a possibility that can happen. see that car, but I mean, it's worst case scenarios for the citizen to press the accelerator instead of the brakes, you know. That's what gives me a lot of hope, and I love I love to match make. Also, I love to match make, but okay, I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna wait here, and here we can do some push-ups and do some squats. But I'm gonna change it here, and we're gonna go drive it in a little bit. So what I wanted to do is, of course, to place and put the protector. Gotta give her a shout out to my anonymous friend for giving me this protector. Gonna protect from rain. If I make $1 million, I trade $1 billion. Gonna give half to my anonymous friend. And this is what it is right here. And thus it is what it is with that. Thus it is what it is with that. Thus it is what it is with that. And we're gonna put the backpack on, and that's what it is for that. And here we are for the XYZ, and we're gonna go on that implementation on the left XYZ, and that's what we're gonna get doing, you know. We're gonna keep on marching a little bit, maybe do a little bit of that jog, and now I got the backpack secured. See, thank you, anonymous friend, for this beautiful. Some more squats. Say LOV, some squats with me. LOV. Some squats with me. LOV. Some squats with me. LOV. Some of those squats with me. LOV. Some of those squats with me. LOV. Whew. I love squats. Please, 49ers, NFL, National Football League, NHL National Hockey League, NBA owners and players, don't be so selfish. I wouldn't be so selfish. I'm not pretense that I'm totally selfless, because I got my own selfish side, but I work on it. But ain't no way that if I would have had millions, now billions, I would have been so selfish. In these tough economic times which we are facing, you know, plenty of time. Gonna go hydrate a bit, see if they have the hydration. Oh yeah, it's still there. No, that's for washing. I got my own hydration, but washing of the hands, I didn't touch anything, so I'm not gonna disinfect, you know. It's okay to maintain hygienic practices. I think that we should have kept, I mean, I'm trying to keep the hygienic products, the hygienic practices as much as I can, you know. I'm a bit obsessed about germs, bacteria, microbes. Although I get dirty, gotta get back clean in my own room off and temple, you know. I gotta get on that go, so that's something which I gotta be doing, you know. Gotta be doing myself as I am here, you know, in the public. I gotta make concessions, compromises for my fellow citizens, which of course are also have their own life, their own affairs, their own matters, you know. It's not all about me, but gotta protect my phone now a little bit. I guess I put a little bit of that cap, and maybe I'm looking for a spot to base some light, just to do a little bit of that Dragon versus Trump here. Let's cross it in that interjection, and gotta salute the firefighters. I'm thinking about the truckers now on the road. Please give them some discount, some love to the firefighters. Love to the firefighters. Get back home safe. Make somebody that good loving. For feet washing, you can hire free services. The public servants with consent, hygiene with consent. Oh, he's letting me pass. He saw me in the corner, nodded. I always wait until I get that nod, because you know how it is, and sometimes that's what we gotta do that. And here I am in my own, well, I crossed into my own neighborhood, kind of at the border. That's in between the old and the new, and nothing that I want to go back to, just because that's how I felt like doing a little bit of that snake. And I love snakes. I don't know if you have any aversion to snakes, but myself, I love snakes. Lions as well. Lion and snake can go together. Paradoxically, the hawk, H-A-W-K. Hawk is my totem bird, you know. I love me some of those hawks. I don't know, there's a lot of hawks here. Hawk is my totem bird, and that's what it is with that. And see my fellow citizen doing some of that delivery of the food, and I love it. The workers, and I had good employment during COVID, you know. But with Asperger's, and also known as HFA, the problematics is that, of course, there's a lot of misunderstandings, and they mislabel it, and it's not a mental illness. It is a neurological mental divergent condition, and that has been a long suffering over the past years. And a lot of different citizens have told me, have of course diagnosed me. I say, you have Asperger's, aka high functioning autism, and yes. In the 44 months now, I've accepted it. I'm working on my symptoms. I gotta let people know that I'm neurodivergent, and with us, you have to be more direct, you know. When we do things, you have to be direct in the terms of the execution of the matter of the being professional. We can embody that, but of course, you have to be attentive, and we have to be more direct to let us know, you know. To let us know. That's the thing with Asperger's, you know. That's the thing with Asperger's. And I think I know where we're gonna do a little bit of that rock and roll, and you know, we gotta get it for the go now. We're gonna turn it up, and okay, I think I'm gonna go south. So that's north. No, that's south. That's south. That's east, south, north. So here's my own neighborhood. There in the north, and crossing from here to the south is my new neighborhood. So here's kind of the border. So I kind of reached the point where the border is. I'm kind of going to go deep. So my new neighborhood, I always kind of say that it starts, of course, it kind of starts my new neighborhood, but it kind of starts where Cuba is, the Cuban consulate is, as I go. But I'm not going to go much. I'm just going to go to work out in the booth there, So here's my old neighborhood. Nothing that I want to go back to, you know.
You don't like?
I like, no, brother. I quit smoking 7 years ago, man. Love you, man. Looking for a lighter. I quit smoking 7 years ago. Last pack of smokes was when I crossed Canada in 2017. That's the Cuban consulate. We gotta get that North American Democratic Republic, you know, North American Union, the centrist public property, and you know, here's my old neighborhood. And said to my fellow citizen there, I don't have a light because I quit smoking 7 years ago. More than 7 years ago was my last pack of smokes. So last pack of smokes was when I crossed Canada coast to coast. But I didn't even finish it all. I had like only a few. It's more just like that because I didn't smoke before. I don't know if I smoked before, like, because I don't remember more than 8-9 years. I remember moving from over there, a basement, underground, underneath, very moldy place, and I was sick and ill, diseased, and I moved, I was sick, ill, diseased, and I got out of depression. I crossed Canada coast to coast, crossed Canada coast to coast, and that event in my life maybe come out of being depressed and suicidal, when I crossed Canada coast to coast, that was the event in my life, which completely turned my life around. Crossing Canada coast to coast in 2017 changed my life. I established the strongest speed cars to my fellow Canadians, and I'll be the first one to join, but my initiatives and protocols are only for defense. For defense only. We're going to play that defense like that hardball ball. I always say we're going to play that defense. Hardball ball, aka blackout ball, when my 49ers, of course, lost. My Niners lost that day, but You know, that's what I say. We're gonna play that hardball ball, and that's what it is with that, and that's what I'm gonna end it with that. On that note, you know, hardball ball. When my 49ers lost to those Ravens, you know, play I Love in Me, Black and White and Rainbow, come make LOV. It's not Tom Brady. It wasn't Tom Brady. Tom Brady was too old when he was 37, and in 7 years until he was 45. At 45, he won his last Super Bowl. Anyway, so that was my event, 2017, across Canada. Started working out, training, exercising. Lost between 80 and 93 pounds. Between 80 and 93 pounds. Between 80 pounds. Between 80 and 93 pounds. Between 80 pounds and 80 minimum. Between 80 pounds and 93 pounds since in 2019 created my own workout training program system. Designed, made, and created to go with a World War III scenario. Which of course the World War III scenario is unfolding according to several elements, which of course I propositioned, and I'm gonna will to discuss now the solution, because this was solutions which we gotta focus. And of course my solution for the North American collective is of course the theory known as the DRT theory. The D for debt, R for refusion, T for theory. So my brothers and sisters, I'm gonna discuss it. It's super important to discuss it because of course we now pay 46.5 billion in interest. 46.5 billion in interest, 46.5 billion in interest. So 46.5 billion in interest. A billion is 1,000 million. That's how it is. A billion is 1,000 million. No. It's gonna rain a lot, so we're gonna have to go. Gonna have to put ourselves somewhere here, work out, see if there's people here at the Partenariat. I might have done laundry here a long time ago. So it's raining hard. We're gonna go, of course, circumvent. We're gonna place ourselves somewhere here, and we're gonna get on the placement to go work out, train, exercise. Let's do some running. Now we're gonna do some of that running. I'm gonna go in the booth there. I didn't think it was gonna be this much rain. So I'm gonna try to hit the booth. Protect my cell phone. I cannot afford a new one, so I guess we're gonna end it here. We should end it here, I guess. It's not going on it because I'm protecting it with my 49ers hat. I don't mind rain, but I wasn't thinking it's gonna be this much. So I'm gonna try to go all the way to run over there, yeah, after this car. And I'm gonna run because it's my turn to pass. I'm gonna go all the way to the top. I got 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1, just in time. Anyways, we're gonna go now. We're going back south. So now, from my old neighborhood, nothing that I want to go back to, only for today, carpe diem it, and for the future. And I'm grateful, joyful, thankful, and the day is really all that I have, you know. My rent's paid, got $10,000 in debt, got $10,000 in debt, got $10,000 in debt, got $10,000 in debt, you know. So that's what it is here, and that's how we're gonna go to that circumvention. And here we are, you know, the dancing goddess meet you on Mount Royal, Mount Royal, Mount Royal, Mount Royal. And that's what it is for the do, that's what it is for the do. And encouraging all the workout, train, exercise, and not caught in the rain. And that's my old neighborhood right here. There's a lot of graffiti on that. I don't remember what it was. There was like a shop. It's on Decari, Montreal, and I believe there was a shop there. I don't remember. I might have been a few years ago, but like I said, I remember what the past 7-8 years. You know, I just remember moving from a moldy underground place, and it was very moldy, and because of that incident, I believe, or it could have been COVID, could be COVID, and loss of memory was known as retrograde amnesia, you know. And I remember mostly past 7-8 years, and I started working out, training, exercising, how I created my own workout training program system, and how I'm joyous today on that joy, you know, and always loving to work out, train, exercise. And although financially stressed, well, I survived COVID, survived being depressed, got lots of scars on my body.